Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. Have you tried to manifest your soulmate, your twin flame, your perfect partner? I did for years. And today I'm going to tell you how it worked. Because it just blows my mind every time I think about how everything happened. So anyway, my name is Pam. I'm a holistic transformational coach. I'm here to help people elevate their consciousness. And there are many, many ways of doing it. But in this process of elevating my consciousness is how things have manifested for me, how things have happened for me in the positive, how I get to live every day in heaven on earth. So, and I'm going to give you a little bit of history. My first boyfriend was in kindergarten. I had a boyfriend, my next door neighbor. I mean, when I think back, why my mom didn't just lock me in a room forever is beyond me. But anyway, every day he would come over and we would sit on my swing set and we would talk. And now I'm in kindergarten. Okay. So I'm what, 5? And he was, I don't know, maybe a year or two older than me. And he would put his arm around me and we'd kiss. And next thing I know, I hear this, "Pamela Lynn, get in here." It was my mother calling me from the house, calling me into the house. And I would get this big long lecture about how I'm too young for this and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, this went on until we moved because I just loved him. He was my first love. So it went on from there. Then we moved, and in first grade, I had like 3 boyfriends at once. And it's not, it just is, okay? If you want to think that I was I was a child, so I couldn't have been a slut, but call me whatever. If you're judging it, you have a problem. So anyway, that has been my entire life until 5 years ago. I always had a boyfriend, a husband. I always had a man in my life. And I remember when, I don't know, probably 10, 15 years ago, my mom telling me, she's like, "Pam, I don't get it. You are the most independent person I know. Why you feel like you have to have a man in your life is beyond me." She's like, "Why do you feel like you have to have a man?" Well, it didn't set in at that point. So, and here I thought, okay, I'm getting ready, my third husband, I'm getting ready to leave my third husband. And I just knew, I've always had a boyfriend, always had some guy in my life. I left him. I moved into my house, my new house. Nothing. I couldn't find a guy. All the guys that showed up were married. And I'm like, no, I don't want a married guy. I want my guy. So anyway, and I remember I was so lonely, and that's when I went through my dark night of the soul. And not just because of that, there was a lot to it, but I was trying so hard to find my guy, the perfect match for me. And I had like things I was looking for, specific things I was looking for, because I knew what I didn't want. So I knew what I wanted. And I would say, it's the perfect guy. And people would call me crazy, and people would say, Pam, there is no perfect guy. It just isn't going to happen. And I remember telling them, you know what? Yes, it will. Because he's going to be perfect for me. Perfect for me. I don't care if he's perfect for you. He won't be perfect for you because we want different things. So anyway, I remember meditating one night and I'm like, God, please, I was going to church. Nothing. I was in this house for 11 months. Never found a guy. Never found anybody even remotely. And I'm just blown away. I'm like, this is the first time in my life I've never had a guy. Well, it happened for a reason because it gave me time to work on me and why I figured out or I figured out why I had to have a guy because it was filling a void that was no guy could ever fill. I had to find that in me. I had to fill that void from myself. And only when I started doing the work on me did things start to shift. And I remember meditating one day before I moved out of this house. I'm like, God, where the heck is my guy? And I remember hearing 5 years. And I wanted to eat my gun. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I can't wait 4 years or 5 years. Are you kidding me? That can't happen. Guess what? It happened. So I'm still trying to manifest my guy. I'm listening to all these, how to manifest, all this kind of stuff. Anyway, so I move to my new house, the one where I finally get my house in the mountains. I manifested my house. A couple videos ago, I told you how that happened, which was a miracle in itself. It was another mind-blowing situation. But this one, so I moved to my new house. I get my motorcycle. I'm riding with groups. Everybody's flipping married. And I was like, again? There was nobody single. And I couldn't believe it. I could not, everywhere I went, I kept thinking, okay, today's the day. I'll find my guy. Nope. Today's the day. I'm going to find my guy. Nope. And I would date somebody. Nope. And when I finally came across a couple of people that were single, I was like, no, okay, no. So, because I knew exactly what I wanted. Because to me, the universe is abundant. And I've said this like in many, many of my videos. God is the best chef there is. He can create anything you want. You just got to let him know what it is. It's like going to a restaurant and choosing the a la carte from the menu. I want this and I want this, and we're not going to do that. So I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this, and we'll skip that. And, you pick and choose what you want. Because I want what I want and you want what you want. They're not the same thing. It can be close, or it can be you might want steak and I want lobster. Probably not lobster. I'll probably take crab. But anyway, you have your pick. You have your taste. I had mine. So I created this list and I meditated on it. I went through all these things trying to manifest my guy. Meanwhile, I'm focusing on it, right? I could feel it in here. I could see it in here. I just knew he was out there. And I've always been told, he will show up when you're least expecting it. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I'm here in this house for 3 years. And when I tell you things happen for a reason, I live it. Okay? When synchronicities happen, pay attention to them. When you get a feeling that you just want to do something, do it. You know, it happens for a reason. Because when I moved here, now I grew up, my dad taught me how to ride a motorcycle when I was very little. I guess I was on a motorcycle. In fact, my husband has a picture of me sitting on the motorcycle when I was it had to have been when I was in kindergarten because it was at that house. I'm sitting on his motorcycle with the helmet on. Anyway, so I grew up, and then when I got older, he taught me how to ride. So there was something in me, and my dad he had a bike and he rode some, not like a ton. But anyway, so I move here. 2 of the guys I work with ride bikes. And I told them, I said, I want a motorcycle. But my second husband, when I was dating him, he had a bike. And he's like, well, Pam, you know how to do this. Let's go for a ride. I was like, okay. So I hop on his bike, and then he puts me in the driver's seat. And I'm like, no. I had never ridden with a passenger. And long story short, I wrecked the bike. I tore up my knee. It wasn't pretty. I was wearing a bikini and a tank top. Not the wisest thing to wear when you're riding a motorcycle, because when you go skidding through a bean field at like probably 30, 40 miles an hour, you're pulling grass and dirt and stuff out of everywhere, and it's not fun. So anyway, fast forward many years, I told these guys, I said, I want a bike, but I want 3 wheels. I don't want a 2-wheel bike because I'm petrified that I'm going to wreck it again. So one of the guys was helping me find a motorcycle, and he said, what do you want? How much do you want to pay for it? And I told him. Anyway, that's another manifestation that I'll tell you another day. But I got my bike. Again, being told I was crazy, it'll never happen. My bike, I would go on rides with groups, had an amazing time. I loved it, the whole bit. I get to not last October, but the October before, I go to a hog because I have a Harley. So I went to a hog meeting, and I'm sitting in this hog meeting, still no guy, sitting in this hog meeting, and they say something about they're getting ready to do a fundraiser for the VA hospital. And they're telling about these veterans that are in the hospital, and they have no family. They have nothing. The hospital only gives you basically food. That's it. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I need to do something. So I go around and I put up, I work with the group, the militia group that I was a member of at the time. We put up flyers, we put up boxes, we collect all kinds of stuff. I had so much stuff, it packed my car. I couldn't have gotten another thing in my car. We take it to the hospital, going along, all this kind of stuff. Then, like a week after the closing, it was Veterans Day, it was a week after that, somebody dropped off a box at the motorcycle shop where I take my motorcycle. And she called me, she said, Pam, I have another box for you. Well, I take this box to the guy that's going to take it to the hospital, and he's telling me about these groups. And I know this is a long thing, but it's pertinent. So he's telling me about these groups that work with veterans. And he tells me about this one place where they're building tiny homes for veterans. And they're helping them get back into, they're helping them heal. They're getting back into society and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my God. I grew up doing like construction with my dad and all this stuff that they're doing, working outside. And I was like, maybe I can help. So I asked him. So again, another longer story short, they have a volunteer day. And I was supposed to go to this, and I'm set to go to this volunteer day. This guy can't make it, so he's telling me to meet a friend of his. So I met a friend of his who's married. This wasn't my guy. We go out to this volunteer day, and I'm working. I'm doing all this kind of stuff, and me being me, I go, there's a burn pile, a huge burn pile, and we're pulling fence boards. The good fence boards we're pulling out of this thing. Well, I'm like, why am I gonna struggle with all this crap on top? I'm just gonna climb on top of this pile and start pulling stuff from up here. So I climb up on this pile and I'm handing all these boards down to all these college kids. And later, we're getting ready to have lunch, and this guy comes up and he's like right next to me. And I was like, God, he's getting really close. Meanwhile, I'm looking at all these guys throughout the day thinking, oh, all of these kids? No, they're college, no way. Everybody else is married. And I'm like, so at this point, I'm like, it's going to be another lost day, whatever. So anyway, this guy is talking to me and he says, well, let me show you. And we're talking about motorcycles. And he said, well, let me show you my bike. So we go in, he shows me his bike. And before I leave, I don't know whether he's married or not, but he comes over and he says, would you like to go to dinner tomorrow? And I was like, okay. So anyway, that was January. I met him January 21st of 2023. He was single. He had been single for a while, thank God. He was, and I remember when I went to this volunteer day, I thought, okay, well, maybe my guy will be here, right? And I said, but I don't want him to be one of the veterans, because he'll have issues, and I don't want somebody with issues. Again, I have a list, okay? So I meet this, and then I thought, well, if he's meant to be, if he's there, he'll be there. If it's meant to be, it'll be. And I kind of let it go. So anyway, I meet this guy. We start dating January 21st, okay? He proposed to me on Valentine's Day, February 14th. We got married on March 6th, all in the same year. And not only, I mean, I told him, I said, if we're going to date, you're going to understand what it is I do, and you're not going to tell me I'm crazy. You're not going to knock me at all, and you're going to be interested in it. Boy, he has come so far in a year. It's mind-blowing. We were talking about it this morning, and I said, it's happened for a reason. I said, because buckle up, because the next year, the two of us are going to skyrocket. What's getting ready to blow open for the two of us is going to be mind-boggling. So anyway, synchronicities. I met him on January 21st, 1-2-1. His birthday is December 1st. 1-2-1. I don't remember what the February 14th was. But anyway, we got married on March 6th. My daughter was born on 6-3. Same numbers. His number is 3. My life path number is a 33, which is a master number. When the people on the farm, when I started going out to this place where he was to help out and all this kind of stuff, eventually I started working there for a short period of time until they basically kicked us off because they didn't agree with what I did, which was another blessing. It was when I went out there, everybody's like, so when are you guys going to get married? I'm like, my God, we just met. But everybody was pushing us. And I told them, I told my husband, I said, I will not marry you until you meet my family and my daughter. If my daughter's okay with you, that works for me. Because my daughter is very outspoken. My daughter is very much, she will tell me whether she gets good vibes from somebody or not. And she met him. It was at my nephew's wedding reception. That's when they met my husband for the first time. Well, boyfriend at that point. And we knew we were going to get married. And I hadn't said any, my parents, my mom family hadn't even met him. So they meet him at this reception. My daughter said, yeah, he seems nice. So, and she said, and I said, good, because I think he's going to be here for a while. And she tells me, she's like, are you getting married for the 4th time? I was like, I don't know. We'll talk on Tuesday. Well, this was Saturday. I said, we'll talk on Tuesday. Not realizing what I was saying. Tuesday, I call her. I call her and I said, we're getting married. I hope you like him. And she's like, yeah, he seemed nice. Anyway, I set up the wedding for the following Monday with a justice of the peace, which happened to be, I reached out to a person that when I ran my bakery, she would do the flowers. She would help me with my bridal shows. I didn't know she officiated weddings. I knew she was a wedding coordinator now. So I reached out to her. I said, hey, who do you know that can marry me on Monday? And she said, well, I can. Meanwhile, I'm searching all these, whatever you call them, magistrates and officiants, and they're charging like out the wazoo for a simple ceremony to say, do you? Yep. Do you know? Yes. I'm not no. Yes. She said, Pam, and I said, well, how much do you charge? She said, Pam, I would not charge you. She's like, I'll do it for free. And I was like, oh my God. So anyway, everything was falling into place. I'm not kidding you. When I tell you it was meant to be, it was meant to be. It was like the angels rolled out the red carpet and said, here you go. So do I have days where I want to put a bullet in his head? Yes. Not that I'm going to do that, but yes. I'm sure he has days where he wants to put a bullet in mine. I haven't even known him just a year. We're still learning each other. It's all okay. But we talk through it. We do everything from love. We get through it. We grow stronger every time. And it has been an amazing journey. I am very headstrong. It takes a hell of a person to deal with me, to live with me. Ask anybody that's been with me. So anyway, he's a Marine. God knew what he was doing because it takes somebody with that caliber. And I remember, and if you are a Marine and you take offense to this, sorry. But I remember telling my mom he was a Marine. Now, perception of any Marine I ever met was an arrogant, jar-headed asshole. That's not him. Now, probably if you're a Marine, I have not met you, so don't take offense to that. But that's just the demeanor that they carry because they think they're, well, the few, the proud, the Marines, right? So, and when things go bad, you want a Marine there because they're going to finish the problem. They're going to finish it. So I needed somebody with that integrity, with that powerful personality, not to overrun me. And when I say handle me, I don't mean like I'm submissive and they control me, because that is not going to happen. But he can handle me. Like I said, follow. That's how I manifested my guy. I finally let it go. And I remember looking back thinking, yeah, it can't be him. It was. And the funny thing, I had watched tarot readings just like the month before this happened. And they were saying that you're going to meet your soulmate. When you first see them, you're not going to think it's even possible, because it's not what you're used to. But that's what you need. And it's going to be a divine counterpart. It is going to be a divine union. And I look at how he got to where he was. You can't make this stuff up. How he was there, why he was there on the farm, it was meant to be. My life put me there. I followed my intuition to get to that farm that day. And I will tell you, somebody I worked with before told me, she said, Pam, the union between you two is going to be so powerful that the angels are not even telling Satan when and where. She said, so I can't tell you when it's going to happen, because it's going to be so powerful that Satan would try to stop it. And I was like, whoa, okay. Because you two have such a powerful mission together to shift this world. I was like, okay. And so on my way to meet this guy to go to the volunteer day, my stomach is like giving me fits. And I almost turned around my car. And I thought, no, I'm not. I promised this guy I was going to meet him. He's going to be at the gas station waiting for me. I need to go. I'm not going to let him down. So yes, Satan tried to stop it. God always wins. When you like grab on to the coattails of God, the creator of all that is, nothing is impossible. And when you just let go and trust, like I did with my house, I said in that story, same thing with this one. I finally let go and just surrendered and trusted. And I knew it was going to happen when it was meant to happen. So it took 4 years, not 5, but it took 4 years for me to find my guy. In the universe, sometimes you don't get everything you ask for because the universe knows better about what you need. And if some of the things that I asked for were on my list, I would not have grown the way I've grown in the past year. Because what triggers you is your guide. Let your triggers be your guide. If it triggers you, it's something that you need to work on, you need to clear. And when he triggers me, I step back and I look at it. Sometimes, yes, I get pissed. I mean, that's the Aries in me. I get really pissed. But I step back and I go, wait a minute. Why is this bothering me? And I work on it and I clear it. So, like I said, that is how I manifested my guy. Know what you want, know what you don't want, but focus on what you want. Have a deep knowing and a faith that it will happen if it's meant to happen. And it will happen. And when you look back, when I look back over everything I've manifested, you can't make this up. There are things that happen that there's no way I could have put into place. You have to trust. Did I know when I bought my motorcycle it was going to lead me to him? No, I had no freaking clue. But if I hadn't bought my motorcycle, if I hadn't been led here, if I hadn't followed my intuition to get to this house, the house I manifested, and then followed my intuition to buy my motorcycle, followed my intuition to go to that hog meeting. I didn't go to all of them. I went to this one for a reason. And then follow my heart to collect all that stuff to be donated to the VA hospital. And then follow my heart to go help at this farm for volunteer day. I'd have never met him. I guess eventually maybe I would have, because everything happens, even when you're hard-headed and you don't follow, it will happen. But follow your intuition. If you feel pulled to do something, do it. Maybe you don't understand why at the time. Do it. It may surprise you. So I hope this helps. I hope this gives you if you're still looking for your guy, your gal, your soulmate, your twin flame, they're out there. Don't give up. That was the other thing. I kept, because you get what you're vibrationally equal with, right? So these whole 4 years, I was like, I would get to a point, because I knew he was out there. And then I would get to a point like, just screw it. It ain't gonna happen. And then I would drop into that low vibrational state. And the anger and whatever. I might have lost for words at the moment. But this time, I was like, no. When that crap started coming into my head, I was like, no, you know what? I'm not going there this time. I know he's out there. It's just a matter of time. And I kept my vibration high. And that's the biggest thing, is when you see yourself going in, once you raise your vibration and you see yourself sliding, catch yourself. Go back. Get yourself back in a positive state. Think about what you're grateful for. Because I'm telling you, it'll happen. But like I said, trust your intuition, follow your guidance, let it go. Just have a knowing that it's going to happen. And dream big. Again, there is nothing. All things are possible with God. All things. You just got to know what that is. So, go through your menu. We're going through the menu for our house. The house that we want to manifest. We're picking and choosing. I'm seeing, yes, I like this. Now we don't like that. But yes, we want this. Yes, we want that. Yes, we want this. All things are possible. So anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing day. It was a heck of a ride, but oh my stars, it was worth it. Because like I said, the two of us together, it's it's going to make a huge difference in the world. Huge. And we're just starting to unfold what it is that we're going to do. It won't be long. We're going to hit the ground running. So, anyway, much love to you guys. If you have questions, ask me. If you need help and guidance on your manifestation, ask me. I'm here to help you. If it works for me, it will work for you. I'm no different than you. I have struggled. I have bumped my knees. I've skinned my shins. I've banged my head into the wall. I've cried. I've screamed. I've done it all. But I know what works. Learn from my mistakes. Learn from my trials and errors. And follow my success. Because you can have it too. So I would appreciate it if you click the like button, if you subscribe to my channel, because there's more fun to come, more excitement. And yeah, like I said, if you reach out to me, whether it be on here or my email or my website. So have an amazing day. Sending you lots of love, and we'll talk soon.